When Mo'3 was gunned down on a Dallas freeway in 2020, it left the rap world stunned. But for his family, that moment wasn't just the loss of a superstar, it was the start of a nightmare that still hasn't ended. Now, years later, Mo'3's name is back in the headlines. But this time, it's not about music. It's about something much more personal and heartbreaking. Reports have surfaced that Mo'3's own son allegedly shot his stepfather during a heated argument. Yeah, a child, picking up a gun and pulling the trigger. The incident has sparked shockwaves through Dallas, raising uncomfortable questions about what's happening inside Mo'3's family behind closed doors. For fans who followed Mo'3's career, this news feels almost unreal. He was known for being a dedicated father, always talking about his kids, hosting them on social media, making sure they had everything he didn't growing up. But now, it's like the cycle of trauma Mo'3 tried to escape is swallowing his family whole. Let's break down what's really going on. Mo'3's family, life after his death. When Mo'3 passed, his family was left trying to survive without him. His mother, his siblings, his children, they've all been navigating life in his absence. And it hasn't been easy. Mo'3's son is still just a kid, but losing a father the way he did leaves scars you can't always see. People close to the family say the child has been struggling since Mo'3 was murdered. And when you grow up surrounded by grief and violence, sometimes the unthinkable happens. That's exactly what went down recently. According to reports, during a domestic dispute inside the home, Mo'3's son allegedly grabbed a gun and shot his stepfather. The stepdad survived, but the emotional damage? That's something this family may never recover from. This wasn't just some random outburst. This was a 10-year-old stepping into an adult situation in the worst way possible. And it raises a bigger question. What's really happening to Mo'3's family? The bigger picture. This tragedy didn't come out of nowhere. Mo'3's life was complicated, and so is the life his family is living now. Before his death, Mo'3 was constantly looking over his shoulder. He was caught up in street beefs, dealing with threats, and facing the pressures of fame in a city where jealousy can get you killed. When he died, his enemies celebrated, his fans mourned, but his family, they were left to clean up the mess and face the emotional fallout. Mo'3's kids lost their father, and his mother was forced to watch the streets take yet another black son too soon. Now, with his son involved in this shooting, it's clear the trauma runs deep, real deep. The violent cycle. Here's the sad reality: when a child picks up a gun, it's not just about that moment, it's about everything that led up to it. It's about growing up in an environment where guns aren't rare, they're normal, where conflict turns deadly because that's what people see every day. For Mo'3's son, losing his father to gun violence wasn't just tragic, it was life-changing. Now, the same streets that took Mo'3's life seem to be pulling in the next generation. It's a cycle that's hard to break, and this time, it happened inside the home. The stepdad speaks out from his hospital bed. Mo'3's son's stepfather spoke out about the incident. He claimed he wasn't the aggressor. He says the child was caught up in the heat of the moment and hinted that the boy's mother might have played a role in how things escalated. Still, the stepfather said he loves the boy. He forgave him, because at the end of the day, this is about a child who lost his father to violence and was never taught how to process that pain. Fans have been flooding social media with prayers for Mo'3's family, but others are asking the hard questions. Where was the support for this child after his father died? Did anyone step in to help him heal? Or did the trauma just keep building until this happened? Because, let's be real, this isn't just about one argument. This is about the long-term effects of losing a loved one in the most violent way possible and having to grow up in a world where the only answer you see is a gun. A family in crisis. Mo'3's mother has stayed mostly silent about the situation, and you can't blame her. Her son was murdered in broad daylight, and now her grandson is caught up in his own tragedy. It's hard enough to lose your child, but watching your grandchild follow a similar path? That's a pain no parent should have to bear. Mo'3's legacy lives on through his music. His fans still blast his songs, share his videos, and mourn his loss. But behind the scenes, his family is barely holding on. This latest incident shows just how deep the wounds really go. What happens next? Right now, there's no word on whether charges will be filed against Mo'3's son. The situation is still under investigation, and the family is trying to keep things as private as possible. But this story is far from over. For Mo'3's fans, this isn't just another rap headline, it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that when the cameras stop rolling and the blogs move on, the families left behind are still fighting battles nobody sees. So the question remains, what's happening to Mo'3's family? And how do we stop this cycle of violence before it claims the next generation? Because if this tragedy has taught us anything, it's this: losing Mo'3 wasn't the end of the story. For his family, it was just the beginning of a whole new struggle. In a significant development in the murder case of Dallas rapper Mo'3, new information has come to light revealing that the man responsible for the killing was unknowingly recorded admitting to the crime. According to official court documents and statements from prosecutors, the defendant made several incriminating remarks during a private conversation, not realizing that authorities were actively recording his statements. Law enforcement had obtained legal authorization to monitor the defendant's communications during the investigation. investigation, a process often used in high-profile and violent crime cases to gather additional evidence. The recorded conversation captured the defendant describing key aspects of the crime that had never been publicly disclosed. Investigators confirmed that these specific details had been kept confidential to avoid compromising the integrity of the case. Prosecutors argued in court that these statements could only have come from someone directly involved in Mo'3's murder. Legal experts explain that such recordings carry immense evidentiary weight because they are viewed as voluntary and spontaneous admissions, made without coercion or external pressure. This is different from a formal confession given during an interrogation, where defense attorneys can sometimes claim that statements were forced or manipulated. In this case, the defendant believed he was speaking privately, which, according to prosecutors, made the admission even more credible. The conversation, which was monitored by law enforcement and later played in court, revealed that the defendant not only confessed to being present during the incident, but also discussed specific actions he took during the murder. These details included references to locations, timelines, and behavior patterns that law enforcement had documented through independent surveillance and forensic evidence. During the trial, the recording was introduced as a pivotal piece of evidence. Jurors heard the defendant's own words, which aligned with other facts presented in the case, including witness testimony, cell phone data, and ballistics reports. Prosecutors described the recording as the final piece that confirmed the sequence of events leading to Mo'3's death. The defense team attempted to argue that the statements were taken out of context and did not amount to a confession. However, the prosecution countered that the recorded admissions were consistent with known facts and contained information that only the perpetrator would know. The jury agreed with the prosecution's argument, resulting in a guilty verdict. During sentencing, the judge directly referenced the recording, calling it damning, decisive, and critical in securing a conviction. The judge stated that the defendant's own words left no reasonable doubt as to his role in the murder. Law enforcement officials later confirmed that the use of authorized surveillance was a major factor in solving this case. The investigators emphasized that the decision to monitor the defendant's communications was made carefully, following strict legal protocols and with the approval of the court. For the family of Mo'3, the revelation of this recording added another layer to an already emotional case. Many of Mo'3's supporters believe the admission finally brought closure, helping to explain how investigators built such a strong case and ultimately held the person responsible accountable. Mo'3, whose real name was Melvin Noble, was fatally shot in broad daylight on November 11, 2020, while driving on Interstate 35 in Dallas. His death shocked fans across the country and intensified discussions about violence in the hip-hop community. This latest courtroom revelation demonstrates how law enforcement combines modern surveillance techniques with traditional investigation methods to build cases that can stand up in court. In this instance, the recording of the defendant's own words became the turning point that led to justice being served. As the community continues to reflect on the life and legacy of Mo'3, the legal process has reached its conclusion, with the man responsible for his death now facing the consequences of his actions. The man charged with Mo'3's murder just went on camera, and what he said has the entire internet talking. From the streets to social media, everybody's locked in, because his words didn't just make noise, they might change everything we thought we knew about Mo'3's death. That came straight from Kuwan Dantrell White, the man accused of chasing Mo'3 down a busy Dallas freeway and gunning him down in broad daylight. But now, in a move nobody saw coming, he's switching up the story, flipping the narrative, and claiming he's not the one who pulled the trigger. And just like that, the entire case got a whole lot messier. The twist is wild, the timing couldn't be more intense, and what he just said on camera might flip the entire Mo'3 murder case upside down. It's the kind of statement that stops people mid-scroll, because if he's telling the truth, everything we thought we knew about that tragic day could be dead wrong. Mo'3's killer just revealed shocking details. For the past few days, the street's been buzzing about Mo'3's death and Yella Beezy's arrest for allegedly setting up the hit. That's what everybody's been talking about. But what most folks don't know or barely mention is the man accused of actually pulling the trigger, Kuwan Dantrell White. White was the first to be charged in Mo'3's murder, but while waiting on trial, he ended up getting a 9-year sentence in a federal gun case. And just when you'd think he'd stay quiet behind bars, he shows up in a jailhouse interview and drops a bombshell that got everybody talking all over again. That line hit different. He said it calm, no hesitation, no doubt. He made it clear, he ain't the one who did it, they got the wrong man. Now folks started wondering, was he set up? Was it a case of mistaken identity? But White didn't stop there, he doubled down.
I think you the person that killed Mo'3, man. They think you did it.
He didn't hold back. He broke down the whole case on camera. Then the internet did what it always does. One person left a comment that summed it all up. Imagine being this man's attorney and he's doing interviews from his jail cell for a podcast. But let's not forget this man didn't just end up in prison by accident. The feds came down on him hard. Kuwan Dantrell White was sentenced to 105 months in federal prison, just under 9 years, but not for Mo'3's murder. That sentence was for being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. The news came directly from U.S. Attorney Chad E. Meacham of the Northern District of Texas. White had pleaded guilty back in May to carrying a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. And this wasn't some setup. The cops literally found the gun in his pants pocket. Here's how it all went down. On August 16, 2020, officers spotted White riding a dirt bike down West Pleasant Run Road in Lancaster, Texas. He broke a traffic rule, so they lit him up sirens, lights, everything told him to stop. But White didn't stop. He hit the gas and took off. Cops chased him down. He crashed the bike, then tried to run. They caught him shortly after, and that's when they found the gun. So now, White is doing time for that federal charge, while the murder case for Mo'3 is still hanging over his head. But again, this ain't someone who just happened to end up in prison. The feds hit him with a real case. On one hand, you've got Kuwan White speaking from behind bars, swearing up and down he didn't kill Mo'3. On the other hand, Yella Beezy, dead silent. Let's rewind. Beezy, real name Marquise DeAndre Conway, got arrested on March 20th, 2025. Surveillance caught him in cuffs, walking like he's done this before. No blinking, no emotion, calm as ever while police escorted him through the station. When that footage hit the internet, it went viral. Everybody was waiting on Beezy to say something. Instead, his lawyer, Toby Shook, gave TMZ a statement that sounded like straight-up PR. After he secured bond, he feels relieved to be released. That's all. No mention of Mo'3, no denial, just relieved. But here's what really set the internet on fire. Beezy wasn't just some guy with an open case. He had already been indicted by a Dallas County grand jury just 2 days before the arrest on March 18th. The charge? Capital murder for remuneration. That's legal talk for saying the state believes Beezy paid to have Mo'3 killed. Not a fight, not a heat-of-the-moment move. A planned hit. Then came the bond hearing. The state slapped him with a $2 million bond. Heavy. His legal team said he couldn't afford it. That's when his family stepped in. His grandmother, Alma Jean Alexander, took the mic and she came ready.
And he has houses in other states, correct?
I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware of him paying and helping to support other individuals in the family and also extended family and friends?
I'm not into his business like that.
She didn't flinch. They pressed her even harder, trying to find out if B was just holding back on the money if he really couldn't pay or just wouldn't.
You agree with me that your grandson is substantially well off, correct?
He might used to be, but if he could make a $2 million bond, he'd be out.
Would you agree with me, though, that there's a difference between can, want to, and choosing not to?
I'm aware of all of those things, but I know he don't want to be in here, so I know if he could afford it, he'd be out.
That line made people stop and think it even got the court's attention. But the prosecutors weren't buying the whole broke story. They came with receipts, literally.
These records would correspond to the exact amount which the state's witness would testify to.
That came straight from prosecutor Tommy Adams. He told the court a witness was ready to testify that Beezy helped pay for the murder, that the $4,000 wasn't some random withdrawal, but part of the setup. Beezy's defense team clapped back fast. They said the state didn't have anything solid, no texts, no Instagram DMs, no bank slips proving any kind of payout, just one person claiming they overheard something. You've heard no information of a text message, any communication on a social media platform that our client paid for this murder, any kind of remuneration, just this individual who stepped forward and said he overheard this conversation, the defense argued. Even with all the back and forth, the judge made a move that caught everyone off guard. Judge Gracie Lewis dropped Beezy's bond to $750,000. But she didn't do it quietly. She called Beezy out for how he filled out his financial disclosure, saying he didn't take it seriously. The financial report that the defendant was required to file, he didn't seem to take that very seriously at all, she said. And that's what I'm worried about, whether or not he's taking seriously the charges against him. Then, Judge Lewis issued a clear warning. No threats, no games, no funny business.
You are to have no contact, direct or indirect, no threatening or harassment of any victim, witness, co-defendant. If it's you or anybody on your behalf, there's going to be a problem. Do you understand that?
So yeah, Bai walked out on bond, but that courtroom moment wasn't really about freedom. It was a warning shot and a loud one. Online, people broke it down quick. He a rapper? $40,000 could be for anything, some said. Others pointed out the case seemed to lean heavily on a snitch, who may or may not even be the shooter. Then came the reactions to the bond itself, dropping from $2 million to $750,000 in just about a week. That was wild. People weren't shocked he got out. They were impressed with how fast it happened. This man ain't worried at all, and he definitely ain't broke, one person posted. He's really from the cliff. Because if you're riding in a bulletproof truck, got six-figure bank accounts, and can pull $140,000 at any moment, claiming you can't post bond feels fake to a lot of folks. He better get out the country, some even joked. Then the internet did what it always does, started comparing. Side-by-side takes started popping up. Tory couldn't get bond for a case where nobody died. Wild. He gets bond, but he doesn't? Ain't adding up. People weren't just watching, they were weighing it. Some saw privilege, others saw power. But then came a courtroom detail that didn't get as much attention, but meant everything. The judge actually said one of the reasons she lowered B's bond was the lack of strong evidence so far. No solid paper trail, no digital links. Just one shaky witness and a lot of questions. She made it clear, don't intimidate anyone connected to this case. That part flew under the radar, but it said a lot. Basically, the judge was saying, the state's case isn't locked in yet. That's why B walked. And then came the tweet that stopped everybody mid-scroll. Big U paid it for him. It might have been a joke, but it hit different because Big U's name always gets attention. He's known for helping rappers not just with music, but with legal problems too. He's been moving behind the scenes for years. If BA needed someone to quietly drop $750,000, Big U would definitely be on that shortlist. He respects street code, and BI is from Oak Cliff. If people are staying quiet to protect bigger names, then that bond money might not just be about freedom, it might be about silence. So now BI's out, still not saying much just like before. But Mo'3? He's gone. Shot down on a freeway in broad daylight during traffic, and while Bay walked out of court, Mo'3 never walked away from that chase. The murder of Mo'3 and their beef. That bond drop was already shaking the table, but just hours later, College Kid posted something that flipped the whole mood. It wasn't breaking news, it wasn't a court update, it was old studio footage Mo'3 and Yella Beezy, shoulder to shoulder. No tension, no threats. Just two Dallas rappers recording, laughing, and vibing like there was never any beef. That short clip made things even more confusing. If you only saw that moment, you'd think they were cool. Maybe not best friends, but at least on a decent terms. No drama, no static. But then came the freeway footage. Mo'3 is I-35. His car stopped in traffic. He jumps out running through lanes like he's trying to escape something deadly. A man follows close behind holding a gun. Seconds later, it's over. Mo'3 is hit. Killed right there, middle of the freeway, broad daylight. People online still can't agree on why Mo'3 stopped his car. Some said he heard shots. Others claimed a tire got hit. Then one post brought it all together. Dude was already shooting at him, it said. The killers allegedly had multiple cars on the highway that day. Someone even claimed Mo'3's tire was shot out. That didn't sound random. It sounded like a setup, like someone mapped it out step by step. Then came the phone data, and that's when things got real. The kind of evidence that doesn't lie. Phone records showed Beezy and Kuwan Dantrell White were in constant contact the day before the murder and the day it happened. Multiple calls, tower pings near Mo'3's home, then again near the murder scene. Prosecutors didn't hold back. They said it plainly. This wasn't just beef, this was a hit. They believe Beezy called the shots, put up the money, and helped plan it. Between the phone calls, the cash, and the location tracking, it all pointed in one direction. But just as the picture started getting clearer, the narrative flipped again, this time around a woman. The Shade Room reported Mo'3 had just left a woman's house that morning. He felt off like someone was watching, so he dipped. Even stopped at a gas station to check if the car behind him would back off. It didn't. Same car, same pressure. Mo'3 got back on I-35 to shake it, and that's when it all went down. The chase, the crash, the run, then TMZ dropped more. According to TMZ TV, Mo'3 was desperately trying to escape his alleged killers when he was fatally shot. After the crash, he got out and ran for his life. He was tragically shot in the back of the head. Police never confirmed who the woman was, but fans didn't wait. Theories exploded. Most believe she had ties to Beezy's circle. No proof, but no denials either. That silence? It gave people space to connect the dots themselves. Then Beezy finally broke his silence. He sat down with the lamp channel and kept it cool. No yelling, no emotion, just calm. cold. Certain saint need to be addressed, certain saint don't, he said. Stop attaching me to all that, because it ain't got nothing to do with me. It sounded like a line he'd been waiting to drop, but instead of killing the rumors, it lit them up even more. People started digging deeper, especially now that Beezy was in jail, his face all over the blogs. And one question kept popping up. How did all this really start? Because this wasn't some overnight issue, it wasn't one diss track. This beef had history years behind it. Both Mo'3 and Beezy repped Oak Cliff, same part of Dallas. And if you claim Oak Cliff, you either earn your respect or get tested. There's no in between. Back in 2017, things started boiling. Comedian Roy Lee, who was tight with Mo'3, began calling Beezy out, questioning his street credibility, his ties to Oak Cliff. Roy picked a side, and it wasn't Beezy's. From there, things got personal. Then came the shots. On September 25th, 2018, Roy Lee was shot in a North Dallas parking lot. He didn't die right away. He fought for weeks. But on October 13th, he passed doctors said a blood clot from the gunshot wound took him out. Then the very next day, October 14th, Beezy got hit. A drive-by. 8 bullets. It happened in Louisville. He survived. But come on, that timing didn't feel random. Mo'3 didn't respond with bullets. He responded with bars. In 2019, he dropped multiple diss tracks. No subliminals, no soft shots. Just straight up blame. On the track 219, which dropped on Roy Lee's birthday, Mo'3 called Beezy out, blamed him directly for Roy Lee's death. Twitter caught it instantly. One post read, "The Mo'3 and Yella Beezy feud turned deadly after Beezy ducked a fade from Roy Lee. Roy got killed?" That set off a chain of events. Even Reddit started piecing it together. One user wrote, "Ike that Mo'3's head got big and he started talking crazy online, but I still don't know if that's what got him killed." This wasn't just music beef, it was pride, ego, real life, real loss. And once it started snowballing, nobody could stop it.
Why couldn't you ever acknowledge 3 before or after his death?
What was the point?
B gave a little shrug, but then he took it further. He said Mo'3 was jealous, claimed Mo'3 was bitter about his success. That line hit hard. It changed the energy. Suddenly, it didn't feel like just music anymore, it felt personal. Like there was real hate bubbling underneath all those bars, interviews, and back and forths. And just when folks thought he was finally being real, B flipped the script again. Different interview, whole new tone. He got asked straight up if he and Mo'3 ever really had issues. This time, "We ain't never had no problem." No problem. Just like that, it flipped. First, Mo'3 was bitter. Now, there was never any beef. One moment it's real tension, the next it's nothing at all. That back and forth had people confused, but it didn't stop there. Right when people thought Bay was going to keep playing it cold and distant, he did something no one expected. He actually gave Mo'3 his flowers. That was a big impact for him. Like, the whole city. A rare moment. Probably the only time Bay publicly said something positive about Mo'3. No slick comments, no sneak disses, just facts. But Mo'3 had moments caught on tape, too. After Bay got shot in 2018 3 times while driving, people were quick to ask how Mo'3 felt about it. And his answer? No sugarcoating, no fake sympathy. Mo'3 kept it raw.
We ain't never had no problem.
You never had no problem. Okay.
No fake love, no fake concern. Just that raw, unfiltered Mo'3 energy, and he meant every word. Didn't blink, didn't hold back. Then came a different kind of clip. Mo'3 sat down and finally addressed everything: the rumors, the blogs, the so-called drama. And what he said caught people off guard. He claimed none of it was real. Said the whole idea of a beef came from people who weren't even in the streets.
That was a big impact for him. On the whole city.
But the music? That told a whole different story. All the diss tracks, the sneak shots, the lawsuits, the IG posts, the side comments and interviews, if that wasn't beef, it was damn close. And while folks online kept arguing about who hated who threw the first shot, who was real or fake, Beezy had his own situation unfolding. His rap sheet was growing, one charge after another, stacking arrests like they were mixtapes. Yellowie's previous legal issues that bond reduction was already making waves. But just hours later, College Kid posted something that completely shifted the vibe. It wasn't breaking news. It wasn't a legal update. It was old studio footage. Mo'3 and Yella Beezy shoulder to shoulder. No tension, no threats. Just 2 Dallas rappers in the booth, laughing, recording like there was never any issue at all. That short clip threw people off. If you only saw that, you'd think they were cool, not best friends, but at least on neutral ground. No signs of beef, no bad blood. Then came the freeway video. Mo'3 on E35, stuck in traffic. He jumps out the car, running through lanes like his life depends on it. A man chases behind him with a gun in hand. Seconds later, it's over. Mo'3 is shot and killed right there in the middle of the highway in broad daylight. Online debates exploded. Why did he stop? Some said he heard shots. Others claimed a tire was hit. Then one post tied it all together. They said shots were already being fired and multiple cars were involved in the ambush. Someone even said they shot out Mo'3's tire. That didn't sound random. It sounded organized. Like a setup planned down to the crash. Then came the hard data phone records. The kind of stuff that doesn't lie. They showed Beezy and Kuwan Dantrell White were in constant contact the day before the murder and the day of. Repeated calls. Cell tower pings near Mo'3's house. Then again near the spot where he was killed. Prosecutors laid it out. This wasn't a rap beef. This was a hit. They claimed Beezy funded it, planned it, called the shots. The phone activity, the money trail, the locations, it all pointed to him.